Hello, hello, everyone. How are you? I'm excited to be here. I am Aimee Raupp of AimeeRaupp.com, and I have a live story of hope that I'm going to share with you. So, if you don't know, I have stories of hope on my website about women who have been on the journey to motherhood and have had challenges and have overcome them, and they're inspiration to all of you. And so I want to bring on the amazing Melissa Ambrosini, and she is going to share inspiration and her story of hope with all of you. So let's see, we're waiting for her to come on. I can't wait to see her. Here she comes, here she comes. Let's see, connecting. I'll just wait for you. There you are. Hi.
Hello, my love. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me? No?
Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, no.
It's okay. We can disconnect and come back. Do you want to do that?
Okay, I'm going to go and come back.
Okay. Mwah. Okay, we'll wait another second. But that was so nice to see her beautiful face. Yeah, we're really excited for Melissa to share her story, because it is, it's going to be an inspiration to all of you. And I want her to share the details. I was going through some of our emails and getting excited. Let's just see if her request comes through again. We got a, here we go. Here we go. Send request. I'm going to wait for her. Let's see. Sorry for the delays here. It's snowing here, so that could be something to do with it. All right, let's see. Is that better?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay! Hi!
Hello, my love. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm just so excited to have you here. Thank you for coming. I want to see the bump, selfishly. Can I see the bump?
Sure.
Look at that, baby. Hello. Aw, I love it. How fun is it? Are you having a great time?
It is the best ever. It is honestly the best thing ever. Like, it truly is. I love being pregnant. I love my pregnant body. I love watching it grow. I feel the most sexy, the most feminine, the most goddessy I've ever felt in my life. Like, I feel the most at home in my body than I've.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love to hear that. I was going through some of our emails, and I mean, I guess we'll just share how we share of like how we met. I mean, you came across well, why don't you share a bit with everybody? I mean, about your process to getting to pregnancy, however much you feel comfortable sharing, of course. I know you've shared, Melissa has, and I mean, I think many of you probably know who she is, but you always check her out. She has an incredible podcast. She's a best-selling author. You just had another book come out, right? Purposeful? Is that fairly new? Yeah.
Yeah.
Released on Audible.
Yes, that's on Audible. And I've got another one coming out in May.
Oh my gosh, you're busy. She's giving birth to lots of things right now. It's that fertile energy. I love it. I love it. So I know with you had said to me, I think after our podcast, or at some point, that you'd said to me that you liked the stories of hope on my website. And so I think it's kind of so fitting, that here we are and you get to share yours. But I'd love for all the girls to hear, whatever feels right for you to share about your path to motherhood.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did do on my podcast, I did do a whole story about our.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. I listened to it. I cried. I danced. It was so great. I loved it. It was so good. It was so good.
I did cried as well. So if you want to hear me cry.
Her podcast is called the Melissa Ambrosini Podcast. So you can find it on anywhere podcasts are, right? And she has incredible guests. I mean, and you, you release one every week, isn't it? Or
yes. So every Wednesday I've got a new episode coming out. I used to do 3 shows a week, but now that I am about to birth a baby, I've cut back to 1 episode a week. So that's every Wednesday. I interview incredible experts, spiritual teachers and leaders and best-selling authors, people like Aimee and Jack Canfield and Marianne Williamson and some of the most incredible people on the planet. So I'm so grateful I get to do that. So yeah, and the way that I discovered Aimee was through Instagram. Thank the stars. Someone else, I think Gabby Bernstein, posted a photo of the book Yes You Can Get Pregnant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Posted that or something about you, and then I was like, oh, what is this? Who is this? And then I clicked on, and then I saw your book Yes You Can Get Pregnant.
This guy right here. Yeah.
Yeah. And I immediately got it and I devoured it, and in like 5 days. And then after I read it, I was like, I have to have her on my podcast. And we had the interview and it was great. And then
I stood her up for the first interview. Do you believe I stood? It was like the heart of COVID, like the height. And like, it totally blanked that it was on my calendar. I couldn't, I was like, oh my God, if she'll have me back, I can't believe I totally. And you did. Thank God you did. And then we had a nice conversation after that podcast and you shared more about what was going on. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then after that, Aimee and I became good friends and we, stayed connected and Aimee was constantly checking in with me and seeing how I was going and my progress, which I'm so grateful. And we shared a lot during that time. And honestly, your book gave me so much hope. And for those that have listened to my podcast episode where I share about our conception journey, it took an 18-month period. We didn't try every single month because my husband was traveling. So there was some months that were missed during that 18 months. But it was very much like an 18-month journey for me.
Yeah, it was long.
It was long. It felt very long and it was very stressful and very exhausting and so many tears, so much heartache. And as everyone listening can probably relate, if they're here, they, that yearning to be a mother. And it was so deep within me. And I felt like when I would get my period each month, I would cry on behalf of all of the women who had ever struggled before. And a lot of, like I shared before, that the stories of hope and the stories that you would share with me, Aimee, about the women who had tried for 8 years and then got pregnant. And it really did inspire me. And so wherever you're at in your journey, go to Aimee's website and listen to these stories of hope, or, there's so many incredible podcasts, or listen to my episode because it really, really, truly helped me. And, Aimee was very bold in titling her book, Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, because I mean, I said in the podcast where I interviewed you, I was like, how did your publishers, respond? Because that is a really bold statement. There's a lot of women out there that will have convinced themselves or told themselves that, no, I can't, I'm infertile, like that won't happen.
Broken. Yeah.
Yeah. And you just come out and like smack everyone in the face with this, no, you can, yes, you can get pregnant. And I just think not only is it a brilliant book, it's a brilliant title, and you give people so much hope. And I think when you're on that conception journey, hope is something that you feel slip through your fingers at times. And I had, one of my best friends, she would say to me, babe, just don't lose hope. And I'm like, I feel like it's gone. Like I do. On, and she would just say, don't lose hope. And then I would listen to these inspiring stories and I would get so lit up again and so inspired, and it happened. And
so what do you think, I mean, I know the hope, like I always say, if you pick up the book or you listen to the stories of hope, like even that I think is hope enough. You know what I mean? That their hope is there, right? Even if you feel like you've lost it, like the fact that you're still searching for the other stories for inspiration, I do believe, the hope is still alive. And I wonder if you can share too, I mean, obviously everyone knows, they know the darkness too. But what do you think was what kept you going? I mean, just deep down that knowing, right? I mean, I trust that you had it in there, it was that knowing, right?
I think I definitely do. I think it was deep. It was kind of like buried, like really, really deep. And my husband was such a light for me
Yeah.
during that. He would always say to me, I have no doubt, babe.
Yeah.
I have no doubt this is going to happen. Just trust.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
Time will.
had it. I mean, you know, our backstory too is, she had read the book, and then I was on the podcast, so we didn't have, as a lot of women I work with and I coach, like Melissa really had everything in check and doing all the things that, what I thought she needed to do, but we did like a consult, if you will, after the podcast. And I remember for me, like this, and I don't always get them, but I had this crystal clear vision. Do you remember of you being on a beach with, it was a baby girl, and now I didn't watch the gender reveal. Was it a girl? Is it a girl or is it a boy? It's a girl. That's funny. Because when I was going through my emails, yeah, it was so clear when we were talking last night that I saw you on the beach with this baby girl. But I remember, and it was actually, I was looking at the emails. I emailed you on May 29th, and then that next month though, you were actually pregnant. So I just more wanted, I don't take a lot of credit for the role that I necessarily played in making this baby from that perspective, where like I get in deep with these girls and, dietary stuff and all that. You had all of that really on lockdown. And I think it became a very spiritual thing for you then at that point, where it was just digging deep into that spiritual side. And I feel like not everybody understands that or what that means. I know you shared a lot on your blog and on your Instagram about your the Spirit Baby books and all of your pregnancy and fertility recommendations. And so I guess, what about that Spirit Baby piece for you? Did you how often did you talk to your Spirit Baby, or do you have any advice on that front for our girls?
Yes. So absolutely, you are right. I did all of the physical stuff first.
She had it all in check. Yeah.
So like my diet was immaculate. I did all of the tests. There was nothing coming back, with any issues. Nick did all the tests. There was and then we got to this point where we're like, okay, this is a spiritual assignment. This is a spiritual assignment in letting go and trust and surrender and not losing hope. And for me, the control, letting go of the control of the timeline that I wanted for myself, and just surrendering. Children teach us how to surrender. I have a stepson, and he's always teaching me about surrender and letting go. And so, I knew that, and so I realized that was the biggest lesson for me. And then I read the book Spirit Babies. And loved it and fell in love and started communicating with her. And I did all of the Spirit Baby. I would get at 4 a.m. when it was black outside, and I would come out into the living room and I would sit here on the couch and I would do all of the chants and just call in, do all the visualizations. And it really did, it really helped me. It really helped me because it took it away from being a physical thing. It made it more of like a spiritual connection. And I just communicated with her, and I wrote her letters. I would say to her, we are ready for you. Like, you come when you're ready. Like, I wrote her letters every day. It was so, and I've kept all of the letters as well.
I can't wait for you to share that with her. Yeah, I love that.
One day I'll give her all of these letters. Made her feel really welcome and made her feel really safe, and was telling her that, Earth is it's great, and I'll hold your hand, and I've been here before, and I can guide you, and I can show you, and I can show you what Earth is like. It's really beautiful, and there's this and there's that, and we can go to the beach, how to surf, and all these fun things. And it really did help me. And then quite quickly after I started doing that, then we were pregnant pretty much after that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I think you had one cycle and then the next cycle, like it was like, I was again going through the emails and it was like in July you texted like, or you messaged like, I just ovulated and that's when you got pregnant, then you, and then I didn't hear from her. And then she messages me, are you on Voxer? Get on Voxer. And then she like leaves me a voice thing of like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. And I was like, what? So good. So good.
I wanted to tell you in voice.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Email going, I'm pregnant. I wanted to tell you so you could hear the story.
I loved it. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's such a powerful, someone just wrote, it's very powerful. That's powerful. It really is to get into that space of, Gabby said it too, when she was on the path to conceive her son, and that she said one day it hit her that this was about a relationship she was forming with someone like from the spiritual side, and inviting them to come over versus this is all my timing. I have to, like, all this pressure. And I see that in so many women, right? All this pressure to do it right. And am I missing something? And what else could be wrong? And looking for the problems versus I'm doing everything I need to do. And I always sense that with you too, of a trust in the divine timing of my life. Like you trusted it in so many other ways, and that you trust that what you need, if you needed something additional to guide you, it would basically like fall into your lap. It would be very obvious, like just like inspired action, like, oh, I want to read that book, or it's Spirit Babies, and it like speaks to me. And to do that, and then also to step back and say, okay, now it's just I sit in the waiting and the knowing, right? And continue that communication, which I just love. And then you called her through. I love it.
Yeah. I think, in the conception journey, trust that everything's unfolding exactly the way it's supposed to is the biggest thing. And that became my mantra.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to want to control it and for it to fit into our timeline. But it is unfolding the way it's supposed to, and you don't realize it until hindsight, and you look back and you go, of course it happened at that time because that needed to happen there, and then that happened, and then that flowed onto that, and then that led to that, and of course it happened that way. But you don't, when you're in the middle of it, it's can feel really heavy. But I really just reminded myself that it's unfolding the way it's supposed to for my evolution. And maybe for me, if I had have got pregnant the first time, I wouldn't appreciate maybe the whole journey as much as I have. Like, people say to me, how is being pregnant? And they'll say, I hated it. And I'm like, I have loved every second of it. I have loved the nausea because I'm grateful for the nausea. Like in that first trimester, I was like, so grateful for it. I don't care. I was like, I don't care how nauseous I am. And, you just have a level of gratitude that is so deep when it's taken you a journey to get there. It's like if you were to win a marathon or run a marathon, if you just rocked up and you ran it.
You wouldn't understand. Yeah.
You don't understand what you've been through, all of the early mornings, get up to train, and all of those things, all of the practice marathons that you've done, or the preparation, the diet, the mental stuff that you've done to prepare yourself to be in that peak performance. It's the same.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I mean, I sense with you too, and just, how you've been sharing your story is it's supposed to be a part of your message and inspiration to other women. That is so much of what your story is like being in your full power, your authentic self, your authentic truth. And I think too, like part of what I thought about before, of even when you were talking about staying in the knowing and all that, like, and so much of your message as well is that you can have these dark moments and still and overcome them, right? And it's not about perfection and being perfectly manifesting and being always optimistic all the time. It's like the contrast really does help bring up the clarity, if you will, as Abraham would say, and then what you can learn from that, and so. And even before, when you're talking about like, and we'll bring you to the beach and I'll show you the earth, it really made me think of like you also, though, in the darkness and the depths of the desire, you got you got really excited about like finding joy now and like all these things, you know, that we could do together. And you really then, I think energetically, like you called her in such a clear way that you got the momentum going, if you will, on the side of excitement and hope and faith and just trusting the timing. It's
Yeah.
just so lovely. It's just so lovely. I love it. And so, how far along are you now?
I am just over 29. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. It's
It's
amazing.
amazing. It's the best ever. And I just, yeah, love it so much. And yeah, have loved watching my body grow. And that was actually something that before I was pregnant, I didn't know if I would enjoy as
Mm-hmm.
much. I don't know. I've always loved being really fit and healthy, and I am fit and healthy now. I didn't realize how much I would love watching my body grow. And because
Transform. Yeah.
it's summer here in Australia, so I walk around the house underwear all day because it's so hot, and the hormones. So I'm constantly like looking down at my bare belly, and whenever I put clothes on, my husband's like, I want to see your belly. Like, show me your belly.
Aww.
He wants to see it. And so it's like such an appreciation for the female body. Like, these things are miraculous.
Miraculous. Absolutely miraculous. Yeah.
It is just a miracle. And it's so underrated. Like, it is so underrated how magical and how much of just how miraculous our female body is and what it does. Like, it's just growing a human right now.
It's like the biggest job it could
I'm
ever
not
do. Yeah.
I'm telling it to grow eyelashes or
No.
no, it's just doing it. Like, nature is just, and it's so beautiful, and the body is so powerful. And I think we need to trust our bodies and, you know, really allow it to just do its thing, because it's just amazing.
That's it. To know that you are so capable of that. And it's like, that's the same thing of like all in perfect timing, right? You know, you don't plant a seed and expect it to grow overnight right into this tree. It's like, it's literally like you were laying the foundation for, you know, a while, and then this comes through fruition, and then now your body's in this optimal state to grow this human. And so it's, you know, and now looking back, you can see that it all makes sense, the timing, if you will. And her timing, it's perfect too. Like I always trust that too, from the spirit baby perspective, that the babies know the exact right time to come through. They know exactly when mom and dad are where they need to be. And, you know, it's just it's truly divine timing. And I love trusting in that. I also understand where it can get frustrating and where you start to second guess yourself. But, you know, you really turned it, you know, as I think makes sense, into that spiritual journey, and just saw, okay, this is an assignment. How do we shift this and focus on the momentum of the excitement of her coming versus the when she's going to get here.
And that's the thing too. They give you these due dates. I call them guess.
Yeah, they have no idea.
You know what? She's gonna come when she's ready. Like, there's, you know, when people say to me, "When are you due?" I'm like, I ask her. I don't know. Like,
I love
do you want to go inside and like ask her when she's gonna come? Like, it's totally up to her. I don't know. Like, when she's ready, when she's like finished cooking in there and she's like ready, and there's no pressure. Like, whenever she wants to come, she will come. And it is really a spiritual journey. And I definitely recommend everyone doing the physical and the emotional before you want to consciously conceive. And then that way your body is in the optimal health and wellness, so that you can just, you know, nourish this baby as best as.
I mean, that's so important. That's, you know, laying that foundation. Absolutely. And you had, you know, and you'd been doing that for years, you know, it's like you were in that place. And so it wasn't about that. And I think that's important for people to know too, that I don't know that it was about anything. I don't know that anything was wrong, you know, other than it was just her timing. And I think for you, then stepping back and seeing the assignment in it, you know, and it just, and then making that work. And then also, you know, I respect and admire so much too, then bringing that story to everyone else and sharing. I mean, you know, sharing, I think I always say sharing lifts the shame, you know, and sharing just helps inspire others. And I know there's a lot of women that I'm sure can see themselves in your story where they feel like they are doing everything. And now like, and where's my freaking baby? So then it's really handing it over, trusting.
Yeah. And I definitely did feel like that. I was like, I'm doing everything. Like, what's going on? And then, yeah, that's when it clicked. And I was like, okay, Melissa, this is a spiritual assignment. And there's no diet or supplement that I can take that's going to speed this
Magically, yeah.
up. Yeah, it's totally a spiritual assignment for me and my husband. And, she's taught us so much already. A lot of your children are your biggest spiritual assignment. She's calling us to rise so much in our marriage, right? She's calling us to really rise and step up, and we're doing a lot of work together to just solidify and strengthen the foundation of our marriage and our partnership, so that when she comes in, that's really dirty, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to do, and I know that she's like, come on, mama and daddy, like, come on, like, your time.
This is what I need from you, and I say that a lot in my work too, of, this is about you getting into the best place possible so you can raise this child. Like they know what they need, to come through. And so I think I almost see them on the other side kind of prodding you in the direction of like, okay, I'm going to need you here and in this mindset so you can let me rise to my greatest potential, right? And it is always that, there's assignments. And I think all of our relationships teach us that. And I think our children can teach us that long before they actually come earthside.
Oh, absolutely.
Look this up.
And the work that you're doing, Aimee, like you are like the cheerleader that every woman needs on their side. And that's how I felt, like having you just like cheering me on, like each email and each Voxer message was just like you're just cheering me on, like it'll happen, like you're so like, yeah, it'll happen. Like you're so confident, and so like everyone needs that woman in their life, whether it's Aimee or whether it's me or whether it's a friend or whoever.
It doesn't matter.
Seek out those people and listen to those stories. There are so many traumatic conception and birth stories out there, but I want to encourage everyone to seek out the stories of hope and surround yourself with that hope, like on Aimee's website and even this story or whatever. It's such
I agree. And it's the same with childbirth too. You'll see that of like, right? Everybody has a very traumatic birth story. So seek out the exciting, happy ones too, because there's a lot of good birth stories too, and
There
it is, I think, mentally how you go into it too, of just like, this is her show, I'm along for the ride, versus she's coming, August 2nd at 3:00 in the afternoon.
and listen to the positive, inspiring, like this is my first birth, so I've been listening to lots of positive first birth stories. In my midwife group, there's 4 of us, and 2 of them, it's their second birth, and 2 of us, it's our first birth. And the 2 that have had the babies already, this is their second birth, had the most incredible,
amazing,
inspiring first birth stories. And they got to tell yesterday in our session, they got to tell, both of them, their birth stories. And one of them was like 5 hours, one of them was like 4 hours, and they had the most beautiful, blissful, spiritual experience. And so I just think seek out those stories, give you inspiration and hope. We all know what the alternative is. Like we've seen it.
Yeah.
You don't need to watch that.
It's like, why not have hope? Why not listen to the good stories too? Why not? I think you have nothing to lose in that department whatsoever. I agree. So I love that. Well, I love you. I'm so grateful that you came on and shared all this with everyone. I know everyone's so excited and watching. So thank you, my love.
Thank you so much for having me, darling. And everyone needs to go and read Yes, You Can Get Pregnant and listen to my interview with Aimee podcast. It's an incredible interview, and listen to My Conscious Conception.
It's a beautiful podcast. I think you should really all listen to it. I loved it. And all of your resources on your site. And then, of course, your books, all your things. You do such a beautiful job inspiring and uplifting so many. So thank you. And this little girl is a lucky one. I can't wait to, I don't know if I'll ever, well, maybe one day I'll physically meet her post-corona, but I can't wait to see pictures of her.
My love, thank you for being such a light for
Thank
so
you.
many, and for having me on today.
Oh, I loved it. Thank you so much. All right, you go. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the sunshine.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Oh, that was so beautiful. I know there were some questions I wanted to just see. I think Beth was answering them. But yeah, that was so lovely. Hey, thank you, Melissa. And I love all of you. I hope that was inspirational for you. And I think such a good lesson too of, you know, doing all the right things from a diet and a lifestyle. And she couldn't, you know, she couldn't be living a cleaner lifestyle and doing all of the things we're supposed to be doing to conceive. And yet there, you know, it took time. And seeing that as the spiritual assignment and really going deep on that, you know, I have a lot of just admiration for that. And so to see all the layers here, if you will. But I love you guys, and I will see you soon.